Good morning, guys. Okay, so today I want to talk to you guys about Bitcoin's breakout. Okay, so we need to talk about this. Is this a breakout or a fake out? I want to talk to you guys about the critical rate folder news that we have today, talking about the IMS service, PMI services, and then the unemployment rate, as well as a few other things there. Then I want to look with you guys, I want to look at the alt season, because we need to keep an eye on where alt season is sitting at. And then also our coins that are outperforming Bitcoin consistently over the last 90 days. Favorite being AERO and a few others like Bitcoin Cash. I want to have a look at those. So if that's everything around this kind of tickles your fancy, you know why you're here. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and share the content with a friend. Why not? Okay, let's get into the chart. Before I do that, just want to quickly say hi to my regulars. Good morning, Dave. BJ, back again. Hello, buddy. And good morning, Renee. Can you look at dominance? Maybe we can have a look at dominance, as I am going to be looking at the alt season today. Okay. So definitely something worth looking at. Okay, so let's quickly talk about Bitcoin. Before we then decide on whether this is going to be breakout for more or fake out for less. And, you know, if you're out of the move, you kind of want it to fail. You know, there's always going to be two sides to the market. If you're in the move, you kind of want it to hold, you know. So we need to see how that plays out. The way we're going to do that is going to look at the weekly time frame real quick. Now, from the weekly time frame, you guys know I'm in a short. I've been shorting this for forever. The reason why is when I look at the weekly time frame as a fractal play. Let's try and just get the chart so it's nice. And we've got strong bearish divergence. We had strong bearish divergence. Okay. And if you look at the RSI, you can see the similarities. There's definitely some divergence. The market is showing signs of weakness. So I'm in a short. My short is currently a lot underwater. But I'm in a long as well because I can. And because I'm a trader, I can pick both sides. That's the beauty about it. Okay. Now, how did I get to this crazy idea? As a quick reminder for everybody, when we look at the market and we start creating strong bearish divergence, I use my strong bearish divergence FIP or my Strat1 trade strategy to kind of indicate where the most plausible sell areas would be, and then also where the invalidation for that should be. So there's two ways that we can invalidate the strong bearish divergence. One, the RSI needs to go make a higher high, which it hasn't done just yet, or two, cross the red line. This is the same that need to have happened in the past with the previous bull market high. If you apply the FIP, okay, you need to go and cross that red line, or you need to delete the divergence, which we couldn't do. Okay, so the fractal play is still there. So you have to almost agree to disagree that it could be bullish, but it could be a final leg for Bitcoin, which means that this breakout, oh, there, my breakfast is ready. This breakout is a potential on the basis that this could have acted like a bull flag, and now we're breaking out with one more leg to the upside. So there's a lot of hopium, a lot of positives. Another thing to add to this is just to understand that from Bitcoin's inception to its first all-time high, back to its low, first halving, first halving's all-time high, low, second halving's all-time high, low, and so forth, where we're at right now. There's a few similarities that we just need to keep in the back of our mind. And that is especially when we start putting a time on this. So when we apply the time FIP and we look at how Bitcoin performs between halving 1 and halving 2, there's, top signals typically occur around the 38.2. And the bottom signal, again, for the next bear market low, typically occurs around the 618. The reason I'm saying that is because if we apply this to halving 2, you can see top, bottom, and you apply this to halving 3, you can see top, bottom. So it's a fair assumption that halving 4, we are getting close to top and getting close to our bear market again. Now, yes, there was no real alt season in this bull market, so can we call it a bull market? For most, it wasn't. And it's a sad, bitter reality that, we kind of have to look at. So this could be the last little bit of a hoorah for some of the alts that then will set us up for another prolonged bear, but maybe a dead alt season market where they will flatline while Bitcoin does what it needs to do before we start going on to our next rally. Okay, so look, this is very speculative, very far into the future. And as always, nothing I say here can be used as financial advice, guys. I'm merely just laying out the probabilities from a technical analysis standpoint, and I'm trying to arm you with as much information as possible so you can make the best decisions possible. Okay, there you have it. Okay, now let's quickly have a recap of where we're at. So for today, important things. Alt season, we're going to get to now. For today, important things is the US ISM services is going to be released. Now, what does it do? It reflects the US services health. Okay, so the health sector of the US services. Okay, and this influences the Fed rate decision expectations. Now, why does this influence it? Well, simple. If the figure goes above 50, how do we know whether it's going to be positive or negative? If that figure goes above 50, it's going to indicate expansion and basically enhance the idea that we're going to have lowered rate cuts. Now, if we go over to our chart here, we want to see this probability move up, that the Fed is going to reduce the rates. Okay. So today's figures are going to bring a lot of volatility around that, especially if they do end up being lower, okay, or above 50. Now, if it goes below, it is, sorry, I've got it all confused. Lowering rate cut expectation. And if it goes above 50, the contraction of fueling a bullish sentiment. Okay. And then the same for the jobless claims. Okay. So if we have the labor market coming in, showing weakness, okay, it's going to support growth with potential delaying rate cuts. Okay, so we need to have these figures come in the right order for today in order for us to have a really good rest of the week. Now, it's worth noting that we do have a banking holiday again on Friday. It's going to be Independence Day for the US markets. So expect price to, if it wants to at this stage, kind of hover around this area. And while that then happens, this 107, which was a resistance for our bearish trend, is now to be seen as support. And any retrace or any dips or any shakeouts, volatility by this news event should be used as a continuation for more. And that's why I want to then move this arrow up and say, okay, continuation for more. So that's a real positive for us. Okay. Now, if you want to have a little bit more information, you want to join, what you can do is you can support the content, get your BloFin account using my link in the video description. And that will allow you and unlock more of the Discord benefits, and as well as give you access to a lot more of my private services that I do in the Discord. So make sure to do that, guys. Okay. If you head over to the navigation channel, there's a Get Partner Role. And then there, if you click on that little button, step-by-step guide how to go about that. Okay. Now, second point of what I want to talk to you guys about. Now, we've got Bitcoin down. So we know we want to try and remain bullish above 107,800 with the idea that we need to push on a little bit further. Now, something I want to share with you guys, specifically in the Discord a while ago, I gave everybody there the soon entry. This is a new coin on BloFin. And at this stage, from the buy zone to where we're at, it's up 15%. Still early days. But if you mark this thing out and you look at where it's at, soon does have a lot of potential. It's a new coin, small market cap. The Bitcoin being in the right economical or right environment at this stage. If a Bitcoin breakout goes and we go into the 120s, 130s, soon is definitely poised to go at least to around 40 cents, potentially even breaking through a little bit higher. So that is one to keep an eye out for. Okay. Now, let's talk alt season real quick on the basis of this. Now, coins that we were looking at for forever was Bitcoin Cash way back, when it started moving, and it did outperform Bitcoin nicely. I am now heavily in AERO, as it is slowly outperforming Bitcoin. We've up another 40% from the last time. It was 80% above. Now it's 120% above. So AERO. And the funny thing is you can see these bloody meme coins are back running the thing. I'm telling you, this is the undoing for this entire alt season. There's too bloody many of them. Okay. So they're still moving around, and I kind of missed out on hype. It's just one of those things. But the interesting thing as well now is if we look at the bottom end of this, more coins are starting to go green, which means they, in the last 90 days, they're higher than what they were. And we need all of them to be green to be according to this chart alt season, which I think is a nice way to look at that. And one thing that we can add to this maybe, and maybe let's just do this. It's not going to adjust the screen accordingly. Let me just do this. You can see that the altcoin market cap is growing, which is really good. Okay, so something worth noting. So as long as that moves, we might see this orange line start ticking over into alt season, which we're not there yet. Still a far cry off. Okay. Now, I said I will give Bitcoin Dominance a look real quick. So let's quickly have a look at Bitcoin Dominance. Now, the dominance at this stage doesn't really, let's just do this, give me a sec. Okay, doesn't really give me anything more than, this is a massive imbalance area. This was a trade that I would have been taking. This was where I screamed alt season and I sold all my BTC into ETH, and then I just saw the market there, dumped on my ass. Okay, so this is now the exact next level, the next imbalance. So the hope is that we do get this, because that's the reason I did sell all my BTC into ETH, because I was looking at the dominance at that stage and saying, okay, guys, it's showing us big bearish candles. There's some momentum there. Maybe this is the area and it's going to drive price to these lower levels. And it just didn't do it. Turned around and then went back up as, Ethereum lost critical support and just kept on selling down. So we're in that same area again, but this time I am going to be more cautious. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to be selling all my Bitcoin into Ethereum this time around. I'm going to take it level by level, like I should. I should listen, What do I say? Don't do what I do what I say, that kind of thing. I need to do the same thing, I need to listen to myself. So this time around, I'm going to take things a little bit easier, a little bit slower. So if we look at Ethereum for that matter, just to give you a quick update, this was when that dominance sold off 3,400. So this at this time is when we were here. Let me just get the right chart. This chart is when we were here. And it was that kind of move. No, it was this time, February. So it was there. And it's that time when I thought, okay, it's going to happen. And it just didn't happen. And turn around, didn't do anything, no divergence, and it pushed on higher. So that's it. Take things level by level. So the level for Ethereum and altcoins like this is simple. If I take away the hopium, okay, and we just look at this from a pure support resistance point of view, support resistance. Let's just do that, support and resistance. Where is the market jittery? Doesn't want to go above it. Clearly, you can see that there's resistance there. Clearly, it doesn't take. This is where technical analysis is so simple but so effective, pointing to clearly it doesn't want to go above that level there. Okay, so we're struggling with that at this stage. We've got an RSI that's running up high, and that's why I'm thinking the best thing that can happen for us is maybe this Bitcoin chart slowing down, building a base here, and giving more players an opportunity to kind of buy in on this break of trend. Something almost similar to what happened here. There. So we had a long bearish trend. We had the fake out the first time and sold off immediately. And then we had another opportunity to break that trend. And what we did is we stood there. And that's what I want to see. If we can stay with Ethereum and we can build a base here, reclaim support. That is a positive that could potentially see us go on higher. If we stay where we're at and we start falling below this unfinished business is still a plausible area. And then it means that Bitcoin, this is now worst case scenario. I'm not trying to, try and doomsday the current bullish news, but just to kind of note on that worst case scenario, you're sitting in a situation where this could sell off and go and test the bottom end of the range again. Don't want to go there, but that is definitely a potential possibility. Okay, so guys, that's everything from me for today. 160 people joining in live. Thanks so much. Please let me know. I'm going to head over to the comments. Let me know what you are holding, and maybe we can look at some coins. I've got 2 more coins that I want to share with you guys. And yeah, let's just quickly see that everything that I wanted to talk to you guys. Yeah, there are two more coins that I want to share with you guys that we can quickly have a look at. The one is obviously AERO, and the other one is OP. Now let's talk about AERO real quick. It is moving slowly, but when it's moving slow, let it grow. I like coins that are slowly stepping up. Now, I want to see AERO go and make a higher high, but more importantly, because we have an RSI first wave retrace and we're in the second wave, I can use this and start saying to myself, as long as we stay above this trend, we can start moving forward. Okay, so keep an eye on this and keep an eye on this trend angle. Okay, as long as we stay above that area, we can start continue on moving forward. So I want to keep an eye on that one. I think that there's a lot there. Now, coins that I was looking at earlier was KAIA. IZU is another one that it's not quite ready just yet. And another one that I wanted to bring to your attention was SOSO. Okay, so launch date, grinding sideways, sitting in there, and holding on to support. So these could be coins that in the future have really good early pump fundamentals. And then, you know, coins like, let's quickly just get, not this one. It's this chart over here. Where is it hiding? There we go. Another one that I'm thinking banana coin is going to turn into a banana coin, something similar to soon. So keep an eye on INC or INCRYPT. Okay, something moving around there. And then my favorite and one that I like at this stage is OP. Keep an eye on OP as well because it's on this chart. Sorry, guys. Let me just load it here. OP. Because we are holding our launch dump lows at this stage. So we're sitting at that support area. And at this stage, if we can break trend, there is some really good upside potential there. Now, all this you can find in the Discord. So if you want to go and have a look at that, go check out the Discord. Everything is shared in there, coins outperforming, all the information, as well as the altcoins that I like to discuss with you guys. So go join the chat there. All right. That's everything that I wanted to say. So keep an eye out for today. We've got two major economic calendar events. And once those figures are out, we'll probably have a better idea of what the fund rate's going to be. And that will impact our long-term HODL bags, as well as maybe add more or significant fuel to the Dixie selling off, which is the hope, because if the Dixie keeps on selling off, we will continue to see the stock markets push all-time highs. And the argument was with the Dixie analysis that we should probably then go and test either the mid of the range or the bottom of the range. So there's still a little bit left before the Dixie will have statistically a bounce again. And that's just technical analysis, guys. That's not so. At some stage, either Trump and Elon Musk is going to make friends and do something amazing, say something amazing that's going to headline the news again, or whatever the case might be. But these are just typical things that you just need to keep in the back of your head. You know, lubrication, use this lubrication, just adds to what is currently playing out there. So we want to see this bounce and then maybe reject there and give us another low. And this then opens the door for the super cycle. You know, if the Dixie, and let me just share it like this is probably the best way to do it. I'm going to go monthly time frame. The Dixie has been trending bearish for forever. Okay, so if this is the case, you can clearly see the argument is sell off to this area, maybe reject, fall below that, go to that level there. If we have a Dixie doing this, a potential super cycle for Bitcoin, then Bitcoin can maybe go to the moon and all those crazy targets can become a reality. But that's it. Okay, that's everything for me. Thanks so much, Dennis, the fitness, for joining. The rest of you guys, I'll be in the Discord and see you during the day. Hopefully today the news will fall in our favor. Cheers, guys.